There's a lot of news that gets published on the internet, and it can be really hard to keep up with it. And one way that people use to keep up with news is RSS feeds. And typically you'll see an RSS feed indicated by this icon here. And an RSS feed is just a file that says when something was published and what its title is and maybe some content. But even if you're using an RSS reader to keep track of all these things, you still have to go through and read each one and sort through all the titles. And what you might want to do is use the power of IN-SPIRE's text clustering to group news articles together by their content. So let's find some RSS feeds. I'm just going to do a web search on Yahoo News RSS. You'll see that Yahoo and most other news organizations will have RSS pages like this. You can click on this orange icon and find the address for that. So this is the web address for this RSS feed. And so we can copy this, and now let me show you how we're going to use this in IN-SPIRE. IN-SPIRE's RSS feeder comes in two parts. There's a service that runs in the background, and then there's a graphical user interface, a GUI, that runs in the foreground. And you can find this news feeder GUI in the IN-SPIRE folder of your Start menu. And when you run it, it'll either open or you'll see a message that the service that runs it is not running. If you don't have administrator rights on your machine, when you installed IN-SPIRE, the installer wasn't able to install the RSS service. But not to fear, we can run it manually. The feeder's going to open anyway, but we have to go run the service manually. So let's hit exit and I'll show you how to do that. So go into your IN-SPIRE folder, which is probably in your Documents and Settings user folder. And in dataset root, there is a file called feeder.bat. Here it is right here. You're just going to double click that. I'm actually going to make a shortcut first. I'm going to right click on it, choose Create Shortcut, and I'm going to drag that shortcut to my desktop. Because this is something we're going to have to run every time we log in. So we're going to run feeder.bat. This window opens. You can minimize that and get it out of the way. Okay, yours is likely blank. I've already started one. I'll show you the results of this in just a minute. But let's go ahead and make a new one. And you can put in the name of your feed. This will become the dataset name. So we can call this Yahoo News. And you can pick how long you want to keep the document. So if you're going to be harvesting a lot of things, you have to consider your hard drive space. And you also have to consider how long you want to go back in time to look at things. You can save documents from certain periods, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But I'm just going to set this to 3 days, and the owner is me, so I'm going to leave that as the current owner. Okay, so now I have this new feed that I'm going to be building that I've called Yahoo News. Here's the thing that I set before, 3 days. And I can set how often I want it to check, so how often I want it to go look at all these RSS feeds and harvest new ones. This kind of depends on what the website you're connecting to does. Some of them don't update as often as others, so you can set this to whatever you want. And so now here's where we're going to be copying and pasting the addresses that we found. So we still have that one in the clipboard. So I'm going to do paste. And when I do add, you'll notice that IN-SPIRE recognizes that it's a Yahoo address and suggests that you use the Yahoo News cleaner. And that's one of the reasons that I'm using Yahoo News here, is because IN-SPIRE comes with several cleaners, like for CNN and Engadget and Yahoo News. And what these cleaners do is it takes out all of the navigation and ads and that kind of stuff. And so we can be done if we just want this top stories one. We can go back to that page full of RSS feeds, and we can find another one. I don't know, here's one on President Obama. So I'm just going to copy that, paste it, and add. So you can do this for as many as you want. You can mix and match different sites if you want to. But for this one, I'm just going to keep it simple and just stay with Yahoo. And now, so you can see I have two URLs, and I can hit this play button, and that's going to start it searching. And you can see down here that it's going to go off and get files. Just like for a web harvest, you get this panel that opens up to show you its progress. And when it's done, that box will go away, and you're ready to go look at your visualization. Now, if you don't have administrator rights and you had to start this using that feeder.bat file, then you need to leave this running. This will only be collecting documents while it's running in your current session. So you can minimize it just to get it off of your screen. But if you close it, it will stop collecting information. So I'm going to minimize it, and I'm going to minimize my web browser, and I'm going to bring up IN-SPIRE. Okay, and so here's that Yahoo News one that I made with 37 documents. That was the first thing that it found, because remember, it was a pretty small set. So here are the 37 documents, and it's clustered them and put labels on them. So let me show you that one that I've had going for a few days. It has 950 documents in it. I have this one set for 3 days, and I have quite a few feeds in it. In fact, let me show you the list of feeds here in the feeder. So that's this one here. I have 18 of the Yahoo News feeds that are all feeding into this. And so I have this one set pretty fast. This is probably a little overkill, but every 10 minutes it will go check these again to see if it has new documents. So the first thing you might notice that's different about other IN-SPIRE visualizations is that we have this live panel up here that is in the toolbar. So what this is doing is reminding you that you're looking at live data, and you can pause so that it won't do an update, and then as it goes, it'll show you how many minutes have gone by since it last updated. IN-SPIRE also automatically makes groups called fresh and stale, and so that just kind of alerts you to which documents are the most recent. Now, if you decide that you get to a point where you want to keep a view that you have, you want to keep a current set of documents, because remember, this is only going to keep, in this case, it's only going to keep 3 days worth of documents, and it'll throw away the documents older than that. What you can do is make a snapshot, and when you go to your dataset editor, you'll see now here's my live news one, the one that we've just been looking at. And you see it has a different icon because it's a what we call a real-time data set, so it has a little time icon on it. And now there's a little control here that opens up this folder, and you can see the snapshots that I've made. So here's one that I made earlier today. So if I open that, then you can see now this is no longer a live data set. I no longer have that indication of how far back in time I am. It's just a regular data set, and I still have all the documents that I had when I made the snapshot. Okay. Now in the dataset editor, one thing you'll notice is when you have a real-time data set, you can't edit it because it's constantly gathering information and updating, but you can edit a snapshot. So you can change its name, so say maybe we'll set this to the dates that it was collecting, and you can do all the things that you would normally be able to do in the dataset wizard. You can set up new fields, you can put in stop words and stop majors and phrases and things like that, and then that will update in the dataset editor. And depending on what you change, it might have to reprocess before it becomes available again. So when you are viewing a live dataset, you can just leave this open, and as new information comes in, the visualization will reset, and it'll show you all the new things. It'll automatically keep going. So that's a quick introduction to how you might keep on top of the news using RSS feeds and IN-SPIRE's text clustering.